There's so much preparation that we as mamas do getting ready for our baby. And if you're a first time mama, then there are some things that you could possibly overlook preparing until after you have your baby and you're like, oh, this would have been nice to have. So in today's video, we are going to go through things that you definitely want to make sure you have set up before baby arrives, because I promise you it will only make your postpartum experience much better. And if you're new here, I'm Naomi. I'm a first time mama myself and 6 weeks postpartum, and so baby girl is 6 weeks old, and these things that I'm going to go through definitely helped a lot having prepared before having my baby. And some of these things I realized would have been nice to have set up before having her. So take it from me, and I will definitely help you all with this. So let's go ahead and get into the list. So starting off with one of the most important things is a bedside area for baby. You're gonna thank me for this one. So have some kind of bedside area set up for your baby and also for yourself. So things that you want to have are like diapers, wipes, anything that you need to change baby throughout the night for diaper changes, whatever you need to do night feeding. So if you're breastfeeding, then obviously, you know, you don't really need much. If you want to pump in bed during the night, then have your pumps there with you. Burp cloths, that's another thing if you're going to be feeding baby, so have a burp cloth with you. And also just hydration and snacks for yourself, because I promise you, especially if you're breastfeeding, but even if you're not breastfeeding and just overnight, you get hungry and so thirsty, especially waking up as frequently as we do, especially in those early weeks with a newborn. So have some snacks, some water or whatever drinks that you prefer is very, very helpful to have near your bedside. And then also, depending on your sleeping situation with baby, having something next to your side of the bed, like a bassinet. They have bassinets where the side comes down, so you can pull it up close to your bed and have baby right there in their bassinet next to you. So it's kind of like you're co-sleeping, but not really. They're in their own bed, and then you're right there, so you can keep an eye on them. But having this ready is just honestly a game changer, because whenever you are getting up throughout the night, it is very, very frequent in the first few weeks, like several times a night. So especially if you have your setup good and you are breastfeeding and you have everything right there, then you're really not having to get up throughout the night, like get out of bed and go into a separate room, unless you want to. But having that area set up, it allows you to stay in bed if you choose to, which is nice because you can continue to relax. In my case, that's definitely what I did. I set up everything so that I didn't have to actually leave the room. I would just get up and chill there and do what I had to do, put baby back to sleep, and then go back to sleep myself. And it was really easy, and it kind of keeps us both in a sleepy state, baby in a sleepy state and us mama in a sleepy state, so that we don't have issues like putting the baby back down for bed or trying to get ourselves back to sleep. So this one is very, very helpful. The next thing you want to have prepared before baby arrives is a feeding station. And this goes for whether you're breastfeeding or if you're formula feeding or combo feeding. So what this is, it's basically an area where you have all your bottles, whether it's a cabinet or a section on your counter, all your bottles, everything that you need. If you're pumping, you can even include your pump parts in this area. If you're formula feeding, having your formula there, sterilizer, having your sterilizer, bottle warmer, all that good stuff, just having a setup for that. For me, I have a designated area on the counter for the bottle warmer and for the sterilizer, and then a cabinet that's right above that has all the bottles, all my pumping stuff, everything. And this is just really helpful because it has it all in one place. You don't have to think about going over here to get your bottles or over here to get your pump parts. Like, it just keeps it all in one place, and that just helps your mind whenever you are in postpartum and you just need to get to your feeding stuff for your baby. And it can also help your husband out a lot too, your spouse. It can help them out a lot because they know where everything's at, and if you need them to grab something, it's in one spot. You don't have to be like, oh wait, where did I leave that? I think it's in this cabinet, or I think it's over here. Like, everything is in one spot. So it's like, if it's not on the counter, then it's going to be in this cabinet. So that will be very, very helpful. The next thing to have ready before baby arrives is a common area set up for baby. Now, what is this? Basically, whatever area in your home you intend to spend the most time in, whether it's your living room or your bedroom, you want to have a set up in that space for your baby. So we talked about the bedside setup earlier, like a bedside area for baby and for you. So this is kind of like the common area version of that, whether it's a den or a family room, whatever it may be, an office that you have in your room, an extra room, whatever it is, whatever area you intend to spend the most time in during the day, you want to have a setup in that room. For me, it's the living room, and for most people, it's the living room where you'll spend most of your time. So having stuff there, like diaper changing stuff, whatever feeding stuff you may need, or whatever else you may need, will be very helpful to have a setup there as well, so that you don't have to catch yourself needing to get up and go into a completely different room. Or if you're live in a multi-story house, you don't have to go upstairs and then come back downstairs. You don't have to deal with all of that. You have your bedside set up for night, like we talked about earlier, and then you have your common area set up as well, so you just keep it like that. Now, here's a little tip. For me, what I found that's really helpful, I have a diaper caddy that I got from Amazon, and literally everything that I need for baby girl is in it. Wipes, diapers, ointment, nasal aspirator, nail trimmer, literally everything I need. Burp cloths I keep in there, her hairbrush, like I keep everything in there. Thermometer, all of that is in there. And at night, I place this beside my bed, and then during the day, I just take it and bring it out into the living room to keep it with me. So this is something that you can do as well. So you can have that as your bedside setup, and you can have it to bring with you in your common area as well. So that's just a little tip if you don't want to have two separate things, but just keeping in mind that you definitely want to have something to keep with you at night and then during the day as well, so that you don't have to be going back and forth trying to grab things. And especially if you have like a nursery as well, if it's like on a whole other part of the house or something like that and you don't want to go in there, this is a good way to avoid you having to constantly get up and go in those rooms. And definitely in the first few weeks, this will help because you are healing. Like, we just pushed a whole baby out, and we definitely need to make sure that we are focusing on our recovery. You may be sore, you may be very, very tired, you may just want to rest. I know I did. So having this setup just keeps you from having to be on your feet a lot. The next area you want to have prepared before baby arrives is actually for you, mama. It's not for baby, but this is a bathroom setup for your postpartum care things. So like a peri bottle that you use to squirt and clean down there after you pee, any sprays or anything that you want to use down there for your recovery and healing, pads or disposable underwear or Depends diapers, whatever it is that you are using as part of your healing down there whenever you take those restroom trips. Having that prepared before baby comes is very helpful. So you can have it like on a shelf or in a little cart, just all in one place next to the toilet, whichever restroom, if you have more than one, but whichever restroom that you're going to be using the most. Or if you have a restroom in your room, then maybe having a setup there. And then say if you have like a half bath or something like that, like next to your living area where you're going to be spending most of your time during the day, then you can keep also stuff there. But just having this handy is very helpful so that you aren't trying to get that all ready once baby comes, because once baby comes, your focus is baby and healing yourself and soaking up all those sweet newborn cuddles. So definitely do this because it's super helpful just to have everything in one place that you need to help with your recovery and healing down there. All your pads, you can just do everything while you're sitting on the toilet and not have to get up and maybe go to like a cabinet or the counter or anything like that. Just having it right there by the toilet is super helpful and just helps with your convenience and overall making it easier on you so that you can focus more on resting and not having to get up and go do everything. So in postpartum, Everything is about convenience. That's what we want to think about. Convenience, convenience, convenience. The next thing to have prepared before baby comes are meals. Wow. Before I had my baby, I thought like, oh, like, I'll be cooking or whatever, or my husband can cook, like, he'll obviously cook for me and stuff. Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. And everybody's different. But having meals prepared is so helpful. For example, my mama in love, she actually had meals prepared for me in postpartum. And this was absolutely game changer because I just stuck them on, like my husband heated them up, or she heated them up, or I heated them up, and I could just eat them. And I didn't have to think about standing in the kitchen for too long, because especially if you are a first time mama, nothing can prepare you for the attachment that your baby has to you in those first, forever, but nothing can prepare you for how attached you're going to be to your baby and how much attention they are going to need from you. And so just having something quick to just put on, and then you can go ahead and get back to your baby and just resting, it changes the game. So definitely prepare meals, have those ready, do some meal prep. There's a lot of freezer meal ideas that you can probably get from like Pinterest or something that's super helpful. Or maybe just things that are, even if you don't fully cook them, if you just have them prepared, like if you have certain like marinades or something that you put your meat in, just going ahead and having all that prepared, veggies chopped up, fruit chopped up, whatever it is, just having that ready is super helpful. And even if people are offering to bring you food, whether it's family or friends, definitely take them up on it, because you really won't realize how much you need it until you're already in postpartum and you're like, wow, I'm so glad I have this help and have these meals already prepared, because you are going to be spending a lot of time with baby, and it's definitely hard to pull away from them when they are always demanding of our attention, of feedings and diaper changes and love, definitely in those first few weeks. So that is all that I have for this video. If there's anything that you are doing to prepare your home that I didn't mention here, but that is super helpful, that you think is super helpful for postpartum, that you've already experienced, or maybe that you're getting ready for, leave it down in the comments. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, and I wish you the best on your pregnancy journey and your upcoming labor and delivery.